Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever it is you're watching this from. I'm Elliot Upton. This is at UP Fitness Live. I am going to answer all of your questions for the next hour on anything that we do with regards to our online training products, with regards to our Live Up plan for both male and females, any of our supplements, anything else you need to know. I am here to answer your questions. There's loads of you coming in, lots of familiar faces already. There will be plenty of people. Hey Uzi, there will be plenty of people from the Live Up plan, so anyone who has questions, anyone from the Live Up plan, do please feel free to chime in at any point. Fahad, what's up? As always, we will go through any announcements that are coming out at the beginning. Rena, hello. Is there anything coming out at the moment that is new and interesting and mind-blowing that you don't already know? Probably not right now, apart from, for those of you who are in Ramadan right now, Umar Malik, one of our amazing trainers, has undergone his own incredible transformation and is partaking in Ramadan right now. We'll be live on here tomorrow, so check the page, go and check out the time, set a time in your diary, a notification for you to come on, and then check out his live. We'll be going through a bunch of questions on how he handles Ramadan and how he advises those of you doing it should be handling it too with regards to your nutrition and your training, etc. That'll be a really, really, really valuable thing. Hello, N. Taylor, what's up? Mazilla, yo, yo, yo. What's going on? Who's going to hit me with the first question today? Yeah, we've got lives all over the place now, you know. As I say, we've got Umar going on tomorrow. We have, obviously, Arusha, who you see on and off now and then. Plenty of resources coming your way. But as always, if there's anything else you feel like you need, anything that you would like to see us do, what's up, Alex DeCosta? Anything you'd think that you would like to see us doing extra for you, then do feel free to throw your 10 pence in, whatever. Right now, throw your 10 pence into the fountain, make a wish, and we will see if we can supply. Any of you who've been looking at my profile or the at Live Up Online profile, obviously go and follow them both. Wink, shameless plug. You'll see the amazing results that are coming out on them. So get over there and check them out. Anything we talk about today is also up on UP Fitness Live, so check them out. PT Willing, hey, there are special workouts to high testosterone for man and women. Strength training is your best bet, you know, and making sure you're recovering. One of the main issues, strength training in general, heavy strength training is very, very good for elevating testosterone. However, the variable that most of us screw up, which is why our testosterones drop, is that we under recover. We are not taking care of our sleep, we are not taking care of our body, we are not taking care of our recovery and our nutrition, which can have a negative effect. So it's very, very important that despite strength training and making sure that's the optimal way of getting your testosterone up and building it up higher, is you're still recovering, you're still resting. That's the missing variable. I've watched a video of UP and BPAC coach Eugene have said when cutting, go to extremely low calories for a short time. Is this approach good for a natural? Absolutely, potentially yes. You know, providing your recovery again is on point, your protein levels are adequate. You shouldn't lose too much muscle if you're dropping down, super low for a day or two, almost fasting to a degree, providing your protein is in the right place. You can get away with it. You want to be in and out of it, obviously. You don't want to be dropping down too low for too long because it's going to cause you more problems than it's worth. But certainly, a day or so, I don't see any harm in it. I work away a lot. What are the best foods to eat with hardly any access to cooking stuff? The foods don't change at all. You should be eating lean proteins, you should be eating plenty of fruits and plenty of vegetables. The actual foods don't change. How you prep them, how you can prepare them in your hotel, or whether it's a kitchen or whether it's a work thing that's prepared for you, the food stuff themselves doesn't change, it's just how you prep it. There isn't a supermarket anywhere that you can't get good meals now. Even like the little Tesco, Metro, Sainsbury's, locals, whatever they are, there's always somewhere. Starting the plan at the weekend, looking at the female. Awesome. Hopefully we'll see you in the forum when you do. Dimiok, hello. Looking at the female supplement pack, also estro tablets from Pear Shape, will these help? They certainly will. Taking 2 of them a day can potentially very much help sort of estrogenic fat distribution, female pattern fat distribution. The same applies for men. Those men out there who fear that you may have some level of estrogenic toxicity. That could be man boobs, it could be excessive fat around the middle and the hips, it could be a lower sex drive, it could be depression, things like that. Things like Estro Support can be really beneficial for you as well, so don't miss out on that. Both of you, go to upfitness.com, go to the search bar, type in Estro Support, awesome supplement. Abigail, how much is a group training in Marbella, or is it a program that you have to start at a certain time? No, if you're coming out on a holiday, you pay per session, which I believe off the top of my head is €15. However, obviously, if you are a member, a long-term member, then things happen slightly differently and the prices change. We have different levels of membership. We have gym-only membership, we have gym and classes membership, and we have classes-only membership. So it depends how you work it. But if it's just a drop-in class, they are, I believe, €15. Remember folks, for some of you there, when you're putting in questions, don't put questions in multiple lines. Put them in one box, because if you put them in multiple lines, I can't answer them because I've forgotten what the first half was. Obviously, I'm scanning around a lot of questions here. Cam, straight from the start, for example, 3,600 to 2,000 for 1 week, or is that too long? Just said, no, that's fine, Cam. That'll be absolutely fine. You can get away with that. That's not low at all. Have a few social events coming up. Any issues in having a couple of beers while on the live up program? Samir, with the current levels of body fat you're at, yes, there will be some issues with you having beer. I would highly advise against it. It's not as though you're going to have to do it for the rest of your life. My advice is get lean and commit to it fully. Otherwise, you're just going to be on a slippery slope and you're going to be spinning your wheels and you're going to get to the end of it and you're going to think, do you know what, I didn't make the most of that. And it won't be our fault, it will be yours. How many grams is one fist of sweet potato? Having trouble figuring this out. Wallace Golf, it depends how big your fist is. My advice would be to get a set of weighing scales, get your fist, look at a potato about the same size, put it on the weighing scales, and Bob's your mother's brother, you have the rough weight of what a potato the same size as your hand weighs. Do you plan to do any seminars in Manchester this year? I've already done the seminar that I was planning on doing in Manchester this year. I can't imagine I will do another one unless demand is extremely high for it. It was an amazing seminar, the one in Manchester especially. The one in London was great, the one in Manchester was absolutely killer. So I will do another one there at some point, but obviously before we evolve onto level 2 set of seminars, the current one that I have, I will do in a few different locations. If there is a necessity for me to go back to Manchester, then I will. If not, not for now. You're welcome, Abigail. Speak slower, please. I would love to speak slower, Mika, but unfortunately we have loads and loads of questions to get through, and if I speak much slower, I end up with a massive backlog of questions because there's an hour of people on here asking many questions, so I have to try and get through things fairly quickly. Obviously, certain things I will try to expand on as best I can, but if you haven't caught something, remember you can watch this right here on @UP Fitness Live for the next day. It'll be up here for the next 24 hours. We also record for YouTube on a camera right next to this, which I then put up on my YouTube. You can search that with Elliot Upton. That goes up on my YouTube and you can watch it as many times as you want to refer back to anything. Cam, thanks. Last question. If I keep that for 2 weeks, 2,000, should I go back up to 3,000? So still in a deficit, but a lot smaller. Depends. It honestly depends. If you don't want to be in a massive deficit early on, in my opinion, if you are trying to drop fat, leave that to later because you're going to get lighter as the time goes on, therefore you're going to be burning less calories anyway, potentially. So you're going to want to taper down rather than on. Often what a lot of people try to do is taper back up when they start to really fatigue. I prefer to do it the other way. I taper down slowly. But it depends. You can 2,000, unless you're sitting at what, 110, 115 kilos, 2,000 isn't an enormous deficit. I was speaking to Dorian a while ago, and he said at times during his cutting cycles, he used to go down to 2,000 calories a day. And this is someone who was like, he must have been 130 odd kilos. He was a monster, 130, 140. So that's not that little food. You are so inspired. Thanks, Fahad. Elliot, can you explain what comes after phase 3? I certainly can, Alex. Phase 4. In the case of the females, that's still a relatively high volume workout. To explain the entire thing, I can't really, because that would be me just listing off the program, which I can't really do. Just rest assured that throughout the whole of Live Up, for infinite number of phases, the structure is basically the same. You can move to 4 workouts a week if that suits you, but you can still also adapt the following phases from like 4 or 5 onwards to 3 if you need to. Best way to eliminate sugar cravings. I'm an addict and it's the thing that prevents progress. First and foremost is decide whether you actually want the result. That would be my first thing. If you are choosing to eat sugar rather than getting the result that you came for, that's an issue straight away. Realistically, on the Live Up plan, if you're doing it correctly, you should not be craving sugar. If you're eating the right amount of calories, you should not be craving calories. If you're eating the right amount of carbohydrates, you should not be craving carbs. It's just a habitual thing. And if that is the case, the only way to do that is to break the habit. That being said, you should have got the supplement stack, which has Chocotrients in it. Chocotrients has a very rich chocolatey taste. That's our greens fiber. You can go to upfitness.com and get that if you haven't already, but it is as part of the Live Up Essentials pack. We have 2 supplement packs, one for males, one for females, that you should have got at the beginning of your program. That's a really good one for killing sweet tooth. Alternatively, sparkling water with fresh lime juice squeezed in it kills my sweet cravings immediately. So that's something I also really advise. Thanks. I guess I'll have to wait for the seminar. If I was to choose to have an open meal, what kind of meal do you recommend? Something that kind of releases the stress of the diet. It's not a case of binging. One of the things that I touch upon on the seminars, ironically, is that People have got into the habit because of what they see on social media of having these massive calorie binges. Eating as much shit as they possibly can, just shoveling it down, and wondering why they're not getting lean. The other thing is that you should only be having your open meals on Live Up if you are compliant. If you have not been compliant, if you've skipped meals, if you haven't drunk the water you're supposed to drink, if you haven't done all of your cardio sessions, you haven't done all your training sessions, you should not be having an open meal. Do bear that in mind, because so many of you out there are fucking other stuff up and then still having the open meals and then wondering why you're not getting lean, because your calories are way off. So have something that breaks the monotony of the diet for you, something that gives you a bit of mental relief, whatever that may be, but just don't be gluttonous. Veggies with a high amount of protein and all aminos except P. Sorry, is there a question there? I don't know. QWERTY plums. Best way to lose belly fat for men. Weight training, high intensity weight training 3 to 4 times a week, and a controlled calorie diet. But you're also going to need to manage your stress and recovery, so sleep a lot as well. I know that's probably not the detailed answer you want, but it genuinely is that simple. Hard, intense weight training and monitoring your calorie intake. What would you recommend as the key daily supplements for a 40-year-old male alongside diet for general health and assisted recovery and joint care? Mr. Steve C, again, if you go to the Live Up Essentials on upfitness.com, that's kind of the basics. I put that together for the Live Up plan. That is what I believe everybody should be having in their cupboard and should be taking on a daily basis. So go to the upfitness.com website, in the search bar, just put Live Up Essentials and it will take you to that. That's the baseline. Now, with regards to specific things that may ail you at the sort of 40 to 50 mark, you may start getting joint issues. So something like turmeric or curcumin, our Longvida curcumin, can be super useful for that. Take a cap 3 times per day. It will bring down systemic inflammation, bring down issues with the joints. Omega-3 is in that pack too, so you're all good there. Vitamin D could also be very useful because it's going to help allow your body to process an awful lot of other stuff, and that would be of great benefit. So I'll take the Live Up Essentials pack and add vitamin D and Longvida curcumin. There are many other things you could take as well, but you don't want to completely smash yourself with supplements. You don't want to be spending hundreds and hundreds of euros on supplements, hundreds of pounds on supplements, hundreds of dollars, whatever, if not necessary. So we're not here to take a ton of money off you, we're here to advise. So I would go with the Live Up Essentials pack plus those two. Are we still doing 2 days of cardio as well as 4 days of strength post phase 3? Well, you're not doing 4 days of strength in phase 3. I'm not sure where that's come from. You do 3 days of training and strength in 3. So that's a little bit of a strange one. Maybe double check your document there. You're doing a Monday, Wednesday, Friday training schedule. And then following on from phase 3, we push you over to 4 sessions for those of you who can take it. And we add cardio at the end of the sessions rather than doing separate ones. How much does it cost to join the UP gym? It depends on the gym. Our Marbella gym is the only members gym where you can just come in and out and you can do what you need to do. Let me just angle that down a little bit so you can see. Our UP gym in Marbella is the only one that's actually a members gym, so you get to go in there when you're not with a personal trainer, and that ranges anywhere from say 50 a month to 100 a month. And then the rest of our gyms, which are PT only gyms, all have specific prices based on the geographical location. So the best thing you can do there is go to upfitness.com and you can pick a gym location close to you and you can send them an email inquiry and they will give you the personal training rates for that individual gym. Do you have any seminars booked in the UK anytime soon? Unfortunately not, Alex, but with the speed that people are picking up on Live Up, I will no doubt put some more on. It just depends. Once the demand is there, once the demand is really there for me to come back, I will come back and do so. Got to get it built up, Mika, I train strength in the afternoon and 2 hours after I finish, I do 45 minutes high intensity cardio. What do you recommend to eat in the middle of the 2 trainings? Protein and carbs. So that could be of any choice of yours, potatoes and tuna. It could be chicken and rice, whatever. Best method for ectomorph skinny fat to reduce body fat but put muscle on. Eat as regularly as you possibly can. Don't leave big gaps between meals. Eat as regularly as possible and train 3, maximum 4 days per week. Full body sessions with reps less than 8. First week, in terms of tempo, really had to drop the weight and exercises to hit the 4 seconds eccentric phase. It's very common, you will have to do that. Should we be hitting to failure on each set? I'll have some reps in the tank. You shouldn't be hitting to failure on each set to begin with, especially. The last set, I don't mind you going to failure. The last set of each exercise, go to failure. The rest of them, you shouldn't be hitting failure. If you are hitting failure before you've hit the number of reps on the first set, then that's a problem. So first set, don't go to failure. Second set, don't go to failure. Last set or fourth set, whatever it happens to be on that particular program, go to failure on the final set. What's up, Nick Brev? 46-year-old female, work out 6 days a week for 1.5 hours daily. Jesus Christ. And find I literally need to starve myself to lose weight. Yes, stop training so much. You've got absolutely no chance training that amount, in my opinion. The recovery is probably going to be your best friend. Back off a little bit, train 3 to 4 days a week full body for less than an hour and train properly. That's not going to get you anywhere. You are going to be pissing in the wind, as they say. Any plans to open up a UP gym in Germany? I don't believe so just yet. America is where the majority of our focus is right now. We are expanding very, very quickly indeed across America. But Germany, maybe something. Berlin at some point, no doubt. So it's something to look at. Berlin, Munich, maybe. Super Tall, you welcome. Very regular eating. Anam, I'm just going to call you Anam. When should you know when to do more reps with lighter weights or fewer reps with high weights? On the whole, Anam, you want to be working as heavy as you can for the desired rep ranges. So the whole light weights, high reps thing is just bollocks. You know, it's outdated rubbish that has been promoted by idiotic female trainers and a few male trainers from back in the 70s, which for whatever reason has just never died. You know, I'm glad that the industry has changed and there are so many amazing female trainers now who advocate lifting heavy and doing it properly. You should be trying to lift heavy for whatever rep parameters you choose to go for. So let's say anything between 8 and 15, but that's where you want to be predominantly putting the majority of your rep ranges, and you should need to be training as heavy as you can for those sets. You know, you can go up to 20, whatever, 50, but they're like burnout sets. It's just something to do, put in a bit of fun at the end of your workout. Why is it so much easier to lose fat than it is to build lean muscle? Because it takes a long time to build lean muscle. Losing fat is relatively simple because, you know, providing you're on a calorie deficit, providing you're exercising, etc., you're looking after your diet, it's going to come off quite fast. With regards to building new tissue, way to think about it is how long does it take to knock down a house versus how long it takes to build a house. It just is what it is. It takes longer to build than it does to break. That's a fact. Beth and Wynne Davies, do we do them through the app? Do we do what through the app? Again, it's what I said earlier, people, please don't just put a half a question somewhere. If you've asked me something way back when, you're going to have to ask it again or put complete questions. Don't give me open-ended random things like that because there's no way I can answer them. What's the difference between trap bar deadlifts and regular deadlifts? Any advantages to one over the other? To be honest, a trap bar deadlift is probably safer. What it does is it allows you to shift the center of mass back just a couple of inches, so you're not trying to wiggle it past your knees, etc. So it's going to put less strain on the lower back. It's potentially, dependent on body position, going to put a lot of a more even bit of tension on both the quads and the glutes. You know, I personally feel my glutes a lot more on a trap bar deadlift because of the way I can get my legs into position. Shift to center of mass. It's also with the trap bar, instead of your hands being this way, or what really dumb people do and go that way, is your hands are this way, which actually, if you watch what happens to my shoulders when I do that, it puts my shoulders into a better position. So the semi-supinated grip on a trap bar puts your shoulders into a better, safer position, and also the center of mass is shifted, so it's going to be less aggressive on the spine. I did a squat video to the women's group and you said not to squeeze at the top as the body loses tension. Is this the same for Romanian deadlifts? I don't squeeze glutes at the top. No, Nick, you should be squeezing the glutes. You absolutely should be squeezing the glutes. The problem is that what a lot of you out there are doing is you're not squeezing the glutes, you're just pushing your hips through like that. Let's see if I can angle this down without looking too silly. Right, so what we're looking at, yeah, you can kind of see it there. Christ, it looks like I've got no legs, but massive arms. Right, what you see is we've got a deadlift there, right? A lot of you are coming up to there and doing this. You're swinging forwards, and what that's doing is it shifts the center of mass a bit and it's putting loads of load on your lower back. Whereas what you should be doing is when you come up to the top, is locking into a straight line. You go down, up, lock into a straight line, which is squeezing your quads. I'm locking my knees and I'm squeezing my ass as hard as possible, locking into one straight line. Should not be swinging through like that at the top of every single squat and every single deadlift. Not intelligent, but it is something that I see an alarming amount of fitness girls doing, which is a little bit of a worry. Give me 2 seconds, I'm going to turn on the aircon because it's getting rather hot in here. That last angle, I couldn't have looked more like Johnny Bravo if I tried. When doing pull-up chin-ups, is it better to rep them out quickly and get more reps in, or should the tempo remain at 4010? Keep your tempo. You know, the tempo and having the ability to control the movements is what's going to make you a lot stronger, and it's going to build a lot more muscle than just swinging around. There's a reason bodybuilders look like bodybuilders, and, you know, amateur CrossFitters look like amateur CrossFitters. What is the best exercise? Waist down, I can't use my lower back, what can I do? Name it, any number of them. Probably, you know, it depends. Just don't put a barbell on your back. You can do dumbbell walking lunges, you can do split squats, you can do reverse lunges, you can do forward lunges, you can do body weight squats, you can do goblet squats, you can do any number of leg exercise without vertically loading the lower back. And any kind of loading where you're actually holding something ahead of yourself as opposed to on the back or even potentially at the side, it's not necessarily going to vertically load it that badly. It's actually going to activate the muscles and re-strengthen it structurally. Sorry, the other half was just above. Regarding check-ins, do you monitor those directly through email or through the Body Profit app as advised? No, it's all done through email. I need to check what's going on with these documents because the Body Profit data was taken out, I believe was taken out of the documents, should have been taken out of the documents about 6 months ago now, and then again about 4 months ago, then 3 months ago, so we'll have to check on that. Just do me a favour, Bethan, and screenshot the document you have and email it to me. I'll just comment in the forum, I'll send you my email and email it to me so I can see what you've got. But no, everything comes in via an email. Once that email lands, you respond to that with your pictures and then that comes directly to me. When increasing reps each week, how many minutes should we add for the plank each week? Don't add minutes, just keep it as that. Keep it as that. It's just about stability. You know, you can make it harder by removing an arm, removing a leg, taking it off the ground, but don't try to increase time on that. You're absolutely fine. What's up, Anito? It's been a while. Amplify, Old Faithful, one of the best appetite killers you will ever use. If you have struggled, a struggle, get your words out, Elliot. If you have a struggle controlling your appetite, drink a couple of servings of Amplify a day. Kills it, it's amazing. You're welcome, Abigail, no problem. Son Domingo, awesome advice, thank you, I hope to help. Can the 12-week body transformation program work well for all body shapes and types? It absolutely can, yes, super tall. It's just a case of, honestly, it's a case of your effort, you know. That's the variable with most training programs, online training programs, it's just your effort, how much are you willing to put in. How many rest days should you have if you have done 3 times weight training sessions over 3 days? At minimum 2, but I also wouldn't train 3 days in a row if I was you. You're not going to get much out of that. Out on an evening walk, getting my steps in whilst watching, best way to get them in. I'm loving Live Up and feeling like a beast after 7 weeks. If you're sitting on the fence about signing up, do it. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I will be going to do my steps after I've done this live feed, so in about 30 minutes. It's going to be dark by then, but I've had lots going on today, so I haven't had time to do them. Did a little bit of cardio this morning, but I'm going to have to go and do them again. With the cardio sessions, is it better to do deadmill sprints or set the treadmill to speed 20 and do 10 times 20-second sprints? Honestly, I'd say probably deadmills, but also if you can do at full speed, like 20, 24, you're also still going to get something out of that. So, you know, vary between them if you need to. Not a problem at all. Follow me well. What's up? Hi. Come on, folks, catch up with the questions. What have we got? Not moving too fast for you, am I? Loads of them coming in. What else could I talk about during these dead spots? What announcements have we got? What's going on? The big boss man, Nick Mitchell's in Marbella in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. 3 weeks, about 3 weeks. It's going to be exciting times. Back to where he belongs, if you ask me, I reckon. I know he likes it out there in the States, but I think he should be purely selfish, obviously. When you say you wouldn't do 3 sessions over 3 consecutive days, what would be the optimum training days be? Honestly, the thing that I prefer and the thing that I've always tried to program is either 2 on, 2 off or alternate days, you know? So I do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, blah, 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 blah. Alternate days for me always seems to be the most effective. Morning, boss. 0520 and about to hit the gym. Have a good live session. Awesome, Ben. Loving the commitment and thank you very much. Have a wicked training session. How can I sign for the UP? If you go, Philly, if you go over to upfitness.com, get online there and you can go to our online training section and you have three options. You have Live Up, well, obviously you're a female, so you have Live Up for women, or you have a one-to-one online personal training, which is the much more heavily customized version, and you can sign up there. So upfitness.com, go to the menu on the left-hand side, go to online training, and then pick the Live Up for women or the one-to-one, and then everything else is there that you need. Climbing Mont Blanc, 4,800 meters in June. What's the best training for the next 4 weeks to increase overall fitness? Again, intense weight training. Intense weight training is the answer to pretty much everything. It will make you fitter at everything. I would also advise, if you can, you get a couple of walks in, some decent walks, find some decent hills and trot up them at least once or twice a week to get yourself conditioned back up. But as long as you're weight training heavily, you do a little bit of high intensity interval training for your respiratory system, you should be absolutely fine. Should Ectomorph do cardio sessions along with 3 sessions a week? I wouldn't necessarily do long cardio sessions, but cardio sessions are going to aid recovery, they are going to improve circulation, they are going to improve nutrient delivery and therefore growth. You just shouldn't be doing masses and masses and masses of it. You shouldn't be burning loads of calories, but certainly keeping your heart and your circulatory system and your respiratory system healthy is going to do nothing but good for you, so I do advise that for sure. What happens after 12 weeks? Can you stay on and live up? You sure can, Abigail. It goes on indefinitely. I've written so far 14 phases, so that's a year and a bit, and I will continue to write phases until I die or something happens, you know? They will always be there. Neville, hi. Possible to do the 12-week course whilst doing other sports? I do a lot of mountain biking, badminton. There is, of course, the amount of recovery you need is going to be vital to your transformation. So I don't want to make promises and say, yeah, we'll get an amazing result out of you if you're doing loads of other training. However, that being said, we do have people who do a lot of martial arts and combat sports. We have people who play football, and we have competitive cyclists. Now, it depends very much on how well someone recovers and how well they're managing their stress factors. But yes, people can still do it. It just takes a bit of tweaking, a bit of adjustment, and a lot of effort from you. I find it easy to get visible upper abs. Oh, it's all right for some, isn't it? But the lower abs far more difficult. I guess the answer is diet, 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 and be compliant with the workouts and time. You've got it, John Bryce. You are absolutely on the money there. Consistency is everything. You know, one of the common things we get a lot is females saying, oh, but, you know, I gave up on my diet because my legs weren't getting leaner. You know, I can get abs, I can get this, I can get that, but my legs aren't getting leaner. Wherever you hold your stubborn fat, that is going to be the last place to go. Okay, it will always be the last place to go. You have to just plug away, plug away, plug away. It's going to take probably a lot of cardio. It's going to take a lot of training. It's going to take consistent dieting, knocking away at it constantly over and over again, every single day, every single night, and it will eventually go, but you can't just expect it all to come off at the same time in the same places. Why does coffee cause gut absorption issues? Because it tends to wreck the gut lining of the actual stomach. So when you have essentially leaky gut, your body starts to let harmful things in rather than keeping harmful things out. When that happens, your body, it's like a poison basically. Your body is going to react to it. It's going to have an immune response. That's going to fire cortisol through the roof. That's going to shut down your digestive system. Everything stops working. Now, one of the most common gut irritants is coffee. Not only that, but we're all overstimulated anyway. You know, we don't recover enough. We don't sleep enough. We don't rest enough. We overtrain. We're overstressed emotionally, physically, and mentally. So then we add caffeine to that, which overstresses us even further, and as you can see, the problem compounds. So what I prefer to tell people to do is, where possible, ditch the coffee, get rid of it for as long as you possibly can, and the results are often quite profound. You know, it really does make a big change. What about your after weight training single muscle meal? I'm not sure what that means, MJ trainers, but I'm gonna guess, what should you eat after training? And I'm gonna say a lean protein and carbs. So let's say chicken and rice, or chicken and potato, something like that. Might have answered your question, I'm not sure. Is white rice okay post-workout, or do you strongly suggest brown rice? No, white rice is considerably better post-workout because it's gonna be broken down and absorbed a bit quicker. What can you tell us about supplementing with glutamine? Glutamine is an absolutely awesome supplement because it can be used to synthesize pretty much any other amino acid that you are lacking. So if you are dietarily, who knows, that might not even be a word, but if it wasn't, it is now, dietarily deficient, then glutamine can be used to synthesize and produce amino acids that you are deficient in. And it's also very, very good for repairing leaky gut. It's excellent for fat loss. It's excellent for preventing atrophy as well and muscle tissue breakdown. So awesome. Take 5 grams per day, ideally post-workout if you're training, or if not, in the morning with water. Best 3 ab exercises. For me, I've actually done a post on this on my profile. For me, it would be the reverse crunch. It would be the decline crunch, decline eccentrically loaded crunch, really, really slow on the way down. And probably just the very, very basic floor crunch, because that allows people to really feel the abs and get the movement right, which I think is lacking in a lot of people. You know, I see loads of people doing hanging leg raises and all this really, really useful stuff. You know, I like a hanging leg raise because it also opens up the shoulder position, etc. However, most people can't get the pelvic tilt that they need to because their abs aren't strong enough. They don't get the pelvic tilt, so they end up tightening up the hip flexors but not actually doing much to the abs. So those would be my go-tos. The reverse incline crunch, the decline crunch, and just a very, very basic on a mat floor crunch. Thoughts on DIM and effectiveness of female clients? Do UP recommend SUPS as part of the program? Sesla, DIM is absolutely awesome. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's diindolyl methane. It's a compound that stops the interaction of beta-glucuronidase with estrogens that are being pulled out of your body. Okay, so it's basically, it stops when your body's trying to detoxify itself of harmful stuff. There's an enzyme called beta-glucuronidase that grabs it, binds it, and takes it back into the body, which you don't want. DIM allows that system to shut off and allows your body to actually excrete harmful toxins. Works really, really well with calcium D-glucarate. We have it also in our estro support supplement. It's incredibly useful, and I advise that both males and females take it, yes. Absolutely. You can get some, go to upfitness.com and just type estro support or even DIM in the search bar and it will come up. Now, it comes from cruciferous vegetables. This is one of the reasons this compound, indole 3-carbinol, is one of the compounds inside cruciferous vegetables like sprouts. I just had half a kilo of sprouts. Yeah. Broccoli, kale, things like that. So that's why those foods are so useful. Can you show me what you mean about tempo, 4010? Yes, Rena, the tempo is a difficult one to explain this because essentially we're talking about the lengthening of a muscle is usually the slowest number. So for instance, because you can see it, I'll show you a bench press. So if you imagine, I am unracking a bar, okay? I'm taking a bar off the bench. The first number is when my muscle here, my pec, the primary muscle, is lengthening, okay? So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 as it's stretching. The second number is the time I spend at the bottom, okay? The next number is the time I spend pushing up, which is usually 1. And then the next number is the time I spend resting at the top, okay? So if we had, for instance, very, very common and very, very useful one is 4010, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 0, 4, 3, 2, 1. Makes sense? I hope so. For most people it doesn't. When I was doing my seminar in London, one of my best friends, Max, and his amazing wife, who is also one of my best friends, she's amazing, Lois, we were sitting in an apartment in London, and bearing in mind they've been together for literally ever, like 16, 17 years. He's a trainer too, and he was trying to explain tempo to her and why it works the way it works, and it was a good 25-30 minutes of the same explanation over and over, and it just wasn't going in. It's a complicated subject. It starts to make sense the more you use it, but it can be a frustratingly complicated subject to explain. Lateral raise versus overhead press. Which is better? I've heard the overhead press is overrated. Overhead press is awesome for functional strength. You know, I'm a massive fan of just being able to chuck shit above my head. I think it's a really awesome thing to be able to do. It is also potentially going to be quite aggressive on the shoulder joint, whereas lateral raise is going to be less aggressive on the shoulder joint. You're not going to use much load on them, and it's probably going to be slightly better for structurally balancing out your shoulder girdle and preventing injury. But with regards to them, they're two very different exercises in my opinion. If you want that cap to the shoulders, plenty of heavy-ish, high volume lateral work is probably going to give you a better cap to your shoulders than overhead pressing. However, I do also rate overhead pressing and think you should be able to do it. Like, I'll be honest, I've never seen anyone who can overhead press a triple figures with small delts. You know, I've never seen anyone who can overhead press a 100 kilo bar or more who doesn't have half decent delts. So, but the risk of injury is obviously considerably higher. I think you may have mentioned this in a previous story you posted. What is the best supplement for males to lower estrogen levels? Estro Support. I've mentioned it a few times in this one, but if you go to upfitness.com, go to the search bar and type Estro Support, that will take you straight to the exact supplement. No worries, Rena. Salt can be used for healing muscle recovery. Yeah, I think you're thinking about magnesium salts, Epsom salts, which yes, it absolutely can. If you pour it into your bath, then sit in a bath, hot bath, especially if you've got really, really bad DOMs, it'll really help. I train with weights strong at 4 p.m. until 5 p.m. Then at 7 I do strong cardio. Should you recommend to take the protein whey shake in between both trainings or just after the cardio at 8 p.m.? I wouldn't take it after the cardio, I'd take it after the weights. After the weights is where you're going to need it. You don't need a shake after cardio. Thanks. Keza. Best time to take vitamin D3 and zinc. With meals, especially zinc, because zinc can make you feel really, really nauseous if you take it alone. And you want to be taking zinc in the morning as well. It's more of an activator. It wakes the body up. It gets the body moving. So you want to be taking that in the morning. I would take them in the morning with breakfast. Now, of course, there's going to be some of you out there saying, oh yes, but I take a ZMA supplement and that's got zinc in it and I'm supposed to take it at night. Yes, indeed, you do take a ZMA supplement at night, but for me, it's not the optimal time to take it. In my opinion, you should be buying zinc and magnesium separately, taking them separately, about 30 milligrams per day of zinc and between 250 and 400 milligrams per day of magnesium. Zinc first thing in the morning with food, magnesium half an hour before you go to bed. Are there any supplements to help with fibre intake? Having carbs, veg and protein post-workout, but high fibre pea protein shake, but digesting things a lot slower currently. Bethan, again, goes back to what I said a minute ago. If you've got the supplement stack that you were meant to get, you should have Choco Treats in it, which is a fibre supplement. That's exactly what that is, and it will kill your sweet tooth. Leg press. Better to not fully lock out at the top. Never, ever, 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 ever lock out at the top of a leg press. Very, very important. The same applies on hack squats. The same applies on pendulum squats. Don't do it. Not smart. Do you think it's better to train early morning in a faster state or later? You need to be training where you feel best, where you are most motivated, where you're going to be consistently getting in hard sessions. For me, I like training in the morning. I get it out of the way, I'm not thinking about it. However, I'm probably stronger in the evenings after I've had some food. The other thing about training first thing in the morning is that you've got it out of the way. It's done. It gets you into a habit probably of getting up earlier, which is always going to be beneficial for you because that means you're going to bed earlier. That's going to be beneficial to your recovery. It also means that once your training is done, once you've got it out of the way for your day, you don't have to worry about anything. You're not going back and thinking, oh shit, I've got to do more. You know, you still have to train at the end of the day. You're going to be more consistent. You get in, get it done, get out, go and get on with your day. Are there any benefits to an initial zero carb diet, healthy fats and high protein? Yes, massive amounts of benefit. It's probably going to hugely improve your ability to get insulin sensitive and therefore use nutrients later at later stages in the diet. It's going to give you a good amount of fat loss and weight loss initially because of both a calorie drop and a water drop, which can be awesomely motivating. And it's a very, very challenging part of the diet. You may as well get out at the beginning when you are most motivated and just, you know, strike while the iron's hot kind of thing. Please leave us your Instagram. I'd like to follow you. Mika, my Instagram is Elliot Upton. That's ELLIOTT Upton. Surname UPTON. That is me. I put pretty much similar things. Obviously, make sure you get over and follow the Live Up Online page too. I put slightly more personal things on my own page, which can sometimes be a little more offensive. But forgive me for that. It's just me, it's just how I am, it's just what I am. I would love to know your opinion on swimming to help with weight loss and help to tone. Whether it's good to mix up and add swimming into instead of just sticking to free weight workouts. Lucinda, absolutely. Generally being active is always going to help you out. Swimming is not necessarily going to tone per se. You know, what toning is essentially is building muscle. Heavy weight training is going to build muscle. You know, most other forms of exercise are not necessarily going to build an awful lot of muscle. And that is all toning is. Swimming is very, very good. It's full body, you know, it's not a loaded exercise. It is good for the shoulders, it's good for the back, it's good for the joints in general, it's good for peace of mind. So I highly advise, yes, absolutely. If you have the time and you have the resources and you can swim once or twice a week, spend 30 minutes to an hour in the pool, it can do you nothing but good, absolutely. Is there a UP Fitness app in the pipeline? There is The UP Fitness app has actually been in development for about 2 years now, a year and a half, let's say a year and a half maybe. It's enormous, absolutely enormous. Nick is spending just over $1 million on it. To give you an idea of scale of this app, just over $1 million on it and the development of it, which is going to host all of our online training. It's going to host Live Up, etc., and something that a lot of you can use as well. But that's taking time. It's taken an awful lot of time, because as always with everything UP, is as much as I know a lot of you out there who want Live Up on an app and you want the online training on an app, and I see all of your feedback emails and we get it all the time, is that we don't want to put anything out to you that is not perfect. We are trying very, very hard to get that app finished and get it nailed down properly and get something to you that works perfectly when we give it to you. So do please bear with us. Yes, it is coming, it's on its way, but we're not compromising on it. I'm having a baby in early November 19 and would like to start UP 12-week plan in January. You seem very knowledgeable. Do you train clients in the Kensington gym? I don't personally, Claire. It's not often you'll see me in Kensington, but we have an amazing team in all of our gyms. You know, Kensington especially, because a lot of the guys I used to work with 6 or 7 years ago back in Mayfair are also now in Kensington, so you will be in the best possible hands. Get on in there and speak to them. Alternatively, speak to them now while the iron is hot and get yourself booked in, because what you've got to remember, especially in the London gyms and especially at that time of year, there is going to be a large waiting list. So there's a good chance you're going to want to book in now. I believe Mayfair has still got something like a 6-month waiting list. Kensington may well be the same, so it's worth getting in now and booking in. So drop them a line, go to upfitness.com, drop them a line through the inquiry page there, and then get yourself booked in early doors. How long do you recommend staying on zero carbs? Also, would you say it's beneficial to have some carbs once to twice a week, 5-6 days low carb with carb cycling? Yes, it is, but I would suggest if you're going to go low carb, commit to it, go low carb for 2 or 3 weeks, then slowly start integrating carbs post-workout initially. Say 50 to 100 grams post-workout. See how you settle with that, and then you can introduce refeeds at a later date, which is, I think, what you're talking about. But you need to be lean in order to introduce refeeds and make them work for you properly. So, don't rush into them. Make sure you're there first. You're welcome, Lucinda, and good luck. Good luck with the baby. I've not been taking any supplements, and I'm finding the DOMs are preventing me completing the cardio sessions to the best of my ability. Will supplements help with DOMs? Absolutely, John, yes, because a lot of them are designed to bring down inflammation. So zinc is going to help aid recovery. It's a vital cofactor in about 300 different processes in the body. So if you're not taking adequate amounts of zinc, your body is not performing those 300 different processes properly. Your testosterone is going to be lower if you're not taking enough zinc. Therefore, you are not going to be recovering as well as you should. You're not going to build muscle as fast as you should. The same applies with magnesium, very, very similar to zinc. It's also going to reduce the amount of sleep you're getting, the amount of good quality rest, which again, is going to bring testosterone down even further. It's going to limit your ability to repair muscle tissue. We go on to omega-3 fish oils, which is a massive anti-inflammatory. That's going to bring down inflammation. Things like curcumin bring down inflammation. All of these things are there for a reason, in order to help you recover quickly, therefore you can train more regularly. If you are not taking them, expect everything to be compromised. It is your choice. Do you consider whey proteins where the cows are not grass-fed prejudicial to health? I think you mean bad. Careful, I'm not an educated man. Other hormones and antibiotics that are supplied to cows filtered to the whey, even if they're isolated or hydrolyzed. On the whole, you always want to try and get something from the best sources possible. That's the safest bet. But I believe through whey, by the time it is made into whey, it has been filtered so many times that the majority of the shit that was in it is out of it, which is why I don't have a massive issue with whey. Now, don't hold me to that, but I'm 99.999% certain that is exactly the case. Because of the filtering processes that it goes through, almost everything is gone. Whereas if you get, things like milk, things like cream, etc., if they are not from very, very, very good sources, they're going to do you nothing but harm, in my opinion. Both your gut harm, but also with regards to estrogenic toxicity, etc. Now, this is one of the main reasons why I don't put dairy in the Live Up plans, because, even with the best will in the world, if I told people to source proper dairy, they wouldn't do it. I know they wouldn't do it. I've been training for long enough. I've trained enough clients to know they wouldn't do it, which is why I take it out. Now, it's just much, much easier. You'll find your health improves dramatically, your gut health improves dramatically, and therefore your body will improve dramatically if you can get these things nailed. You're welcome, Claire. What's my Insta? My Insta is Elliot Upton, ELLIOTT, new line, or new name, Upton, UPTON. Thanks, Azzy. Have you read the N1 Nutrition book by Phil Lowney? I have been in and out of it, yes, I have. I'm lucky enough to I have Phil as a friend, so when I usually need something, I ask him. Best way to improve your general range of movement, yoga and stretching. Yoga and stretching, not even yoga or stretching, yoga and stretching, absolutely. FLC, halfway through week 3 and love Live Up. Boom! We've got a favourite comment of the day right there. Well done, FLC. Like it. I would imagine pretty much, I think safe to say without exception, everyone who's been on the Live Up plan pretty much rates it in the same way, which is a very, very proud thing for me. I spent a long time putting that plan together back in the day. Now, we obviously put a lot of work into it as a team, making sure everything is the way it is. Don't get me wrong, there's always problems, as there is with everything. But thanks to the lovely, awesome people who are putting their effort into it, and as you can see from following our profiles, getting insane transformations out of it, it would not be anything without you lot. So, for all of you, Colette, Alex, you're all in there, you see. It brings a tear to my eye. It makes me all like emotional and shit. Jokes apart though, it genuinely does. I love it. It's a very, very proud thing for me. Does someone on Live Up, if someone on Live Up messes up, can they restart? No, it's not getting a Super Mario. If you mess up, you just move on. Come on now. Week 4 and love it. Booming. Colette, to be fair, you are killing it. You look like 2 different people in your check-in photos. It's madness. Mitch, afternoon here. Hope you're well. I certainly am. How do I recover faster? Usually having DOMs for like 3 or 4 days, missing out on sessions, losing everything. It sounds to me like the training stimulus is probably too high, Are you using sort of body part splits, the kind of chest and arms, back and blah, blah, blah? You're probably doing too much volume in your sessions if it's taking you 4 days to recover. That, and you may need to eat more protein and sleep and rest more. Your recovery factors may be an issue here. So, usually if I give you those 2 little ideas, you're going to be able to identify, if you can critically look at yourself, you're going to be able to identify exactly what it is. Almost certainly nutrition or recovery, rest, sleep, etc. But potentially training stimulus as well. Samir, agree. Live Up is a great program. Halfway through week 3 and I've seen and felt a difference. Boom, mini fist pump. Full body push pull. Initially, I think I need to up protein intake, to be honest. Thanks, man. Take care. You're welcome, Mitch. Protein is the answer almost always. Apparently, according to Facebook and all these weird stories, the ladies are now putting protein on their faces because it's the answer to remaining young. What are your thoughts on that, ladies? Protein. Did you know that protein comes out at 40 miles per hour, apparently? So I'm told. I've never held a speed gun to it, but apparently. What stage of Live Up program do we start specialising? You used to start doing it at level 4, which was basically the 4th month. But what we found is that it didn't really work out very well for the members, so we went back to specific programs. So I plan each month to progress from the previous one rather than allowing you the option to specialise, because it was just getting too complicated for people. People didn't know what they wanted, and it caused a bit of a nightmare. So what we decided to do was I now specialise for you. I tell you exactly what you're working and you just work it. And trust me, it works. It's fine. It takes the guesswork out of it for you. It takes your need to think out of it, which is proven to be very, very effective. I'm going to join Live Up. Shit sounds amazing judging by the testimonials. Amazing doesn't even come close to it. Wait till you see the forums, wait till you see the people in the forums, wait till you see the way they all come together. It's some serious camaraderie there, and that's what makes the program, The online forums that we've got there, for all my best intentions, the guys in Live Up carry Live Up. It's awesome. It's a perfect community. I love it. Do it, Azzy. I've never heard of Live Up. Can I do it from my house? Claire, no, it's not a home-based program. The reason I didn't write it to be a home-based program is that you can't legitimately progress properly at home. The only options you really have to train at home are safe bodyweight workouts, which you don't have much progression on long term, or the kind of HIIT jumping around burpee style stuff, which is high impact, really, really bad for your joints and quite stressful on your system. So it's not a home-based program. In order to get the most out of it, you will need a gym. What have we got? Where are we? Mika, what the main difference is in the training between training to gain strength, like in gymnastics, and between training for muscle hypertrophy. Gymnastics is a difficult one because it's not, that's going to be very, very functional strength. If you're looking to gain outright strength, you're working much lower reps. Hypertrophy, you're looking at slightly higher reps. It's let's say sub 5 reps for strength, plus 5 to 12 reps for hypertrophy. Why is it so important to vary your protein sources? So that you can keep a healthy level of digestive enzymes. You know, your body knows how to break down different things, so that you also get full spectrum of amino acids in order to fully nourish your body. What's the best tummy exercises to help tone up stomach? Previously had 2 C-sections. The best tummy exercise to tone up anything is your diet. Carmichael Haley. So many of you out there, especially for tummy stuff, is you look for an exercise that is going to work. I know you want me to say, oh, just do 70 crunches a day. That's not the answer. You actually have to look after your diet. You may not want to do it, but that is the answer. I was actually having this discussion today. You know, I think one of the things that social media is fun for it. It's about entertainment. You know, it's about people want to comment it like they're watching TV. They want to be entertained. They want to chill out. This is where I don't really fall into a very good bracket, and probably why my following is not that massive, considering. Because I tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I'm not here to entertain, I'm here to inform, and there is a big, big difference. With regards to effectively getting rid of belly fat and getting yourself a nice tight toned stomach, it is all about your diet 100%. When you are lean enough to kind of start seeing your abs, by all means, integrate some crunches, integrate some nice, interesting exercises, but until you've got your diet in check, you're not going to see your abs. Claire Bell, I have to go over awesome live video earlier. You're welcome, Claire. Thank you. You didn't even say thank you, so why did I say you're welcome? Thank you for joining, and thank you for saying it was an awesome video. I hope to see you again. I'm here, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after. I will be here again, so do please come, show up again. Totally agree that weight will eventually come off those stubborn areas. I've always maintained a lot of weight on my butt and thighs. Week 6 on Live Up, and it's starting to shift. Over the bloody moon. Yes, Charlotte. Yes, Charlotte. Look at that. Live Up has got 100% record so far. Everyone is just stoked, me included. Dream team, dream team. For all the guys on Live Up, just wait for phase 9. Epic. Epic with a bunch of C's. Boom. Yeah, they get brutal, Chris. They do get brutal. Like, I've writing phase 14 now. They get a bit savage. They can start kicking the shit out of you. Some people say the odd pizza won't do any harm, but listening to you makes me doubt just how much of a negative effect it will have on progress. Depends how often you're having it. It depends how big you are. It depends how lean you already are. What you've got to remember is that in order to get away with meals like that, is you have to have a period of extended dieting in a relatively large calorie deficit. If you've done that, and we're talking about 3-4 weeks, and you're doing it, probably not an issue. Number 2. The leaner you are, the more often you can get away with that. So instead of every 3 or 4 weeks, maybe you can get away with it every week if you're sub 10% already. Not a problem then. If you're training really, really fucking hard, you can get away with it more often than less often. If you are being consistent and you're hitting cardio and you're doing high volume versus low volume, you can get it more often. There are too many variables behind a statement like that. What you tend to hear is that the people who are saying, I'll have a pizza every now and then, are already jacked as fuck. They've got amazing genetics. They're usually taking a ton of gear, and they've been dieting like an absolute madman for the last 15 years of their life, or woman. You know, it's one of those things. Or alternatively, you have people who aren't even in that good a shape and are shit coaches who turn around and say, oh yeah, you should be living a little bit, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. What they're doing is taking the approach of, I don't really know how to get people in shape, so what I'll do is I will tell you exactly what you want to hear in order for you to join my community or buy my product. This is the industry at large. Will pizzas affect your progress? Fuck yes, they will, but how much of an effect will they have? That very much depends on where you are, what you're doing, and how you do it. Is it really effective to supplement with spirulina? 3 grams a day. I'm trying to supplement myself as naturally as I can. Could I take it as effective as taking shakes of BCAAs? Spirulina is going to be greens. It's going to be good for kind of alkalizing the body, quote unquote, and helping you to improve your digestive system, potentially steering off issues like cancer. But it's not going to, it's really not going to replace something like leucine or BCAAs, etc. Essentially, fucking hell, EAAs. So no, I think you might be a bit confused there. 2 different things, very, very different things. One of them is greens, the other one is going to help stimulate muscle protein synthesis. So take them both. Siwali. Right, we are at the 3-minute mark, so any second now Instagram is going to give me a big flashing warning that says I have 2 minutes left, and that will be our hour out. When that happens, I'm going to be answering questions as quick as I possibly can, so fire them at me. Make sure you hit them hard and fast, because as soon as that 2 minutes comes up, I have 2 minutes before I'm gone. Every time I show my mates, colleagues, UP Transformation Photo, they say impossible must be juiced. So frustrating. Absolutely, John, but the thing is that people who tend to say that are the people who just don't have the balls or vagina to do it themselves. They haven't got the heart, they haven't got the will, and they haven't got the know-how. 1,000 times over have I seen this. People saying, there's no way you can do this, there's no way you can do this. 1,000 times over I've seen people saying, there's no way you can do this, there's no way you can do this without gear. Then they decide, the odd person decides to put their money where their mouth is and stop just talking shit and actually put their head on the line. Sure enough, 6, 7, 8 weeks down the line, they've got a body that they thought was only possible with gear, and they're now one of the advocates for UP, saying, these guys are fucking incredible, this is amazing, I don't know how it was possible, but I did it, it was hard work, it was consistency. People will always bitch and whine about the shit that they don't have the balls to do themselves. You're welcome, Abigail. Training faster for fat loss, more to keep calories down. I'm starving after training, bad for body composition. Training fasted for fat loss to keep calories down. I'm starving after training. You're going to lose a lot of muscle, potentially, unless you're taking something like Amplify. If you're going to train fasted, then I would recommend getting a double serving of Amplify, putting that in a 1.5 litre bottle of water, exactly like this, and making sure it's finished before you finish training. That's going to prevent any likelihood of too much muscle wastage, too much muscle breakdown, and that's going to put you in a good place. Then obviously I would still have a shake post-workout to kickstart protein synthesis and get your body building. Then with regards to the rest of the fast, you should probably be around providing your body is sending over protein adequately. See how you go. Tips for migraines. Don't look at the stuff that I'm looking at now. I have 3 screens pointing at me in a massive, great big light. Put dimmer switches in your house. Bring the light down 2 or 3 hours before you go to bed. Allow your body to shut itself down. Look at candlelight as opposed to big bright lights. Get off your phone, etc. Phones are going to be one of the massive things. Phones and computer screens, TV screens are one of the major causes of things like migraines now. Also, when you're following a healthy, balanced diet with the right amount of nourishment, you shouldn't have issues like migraines. You should be able to back off on them quite a bit, so make sure you're looking after yourself as well. At the minute, the gym I am won't let me go back as I have an injury. What can I do? Wait until you're not injured. It sounds like you have quite an intelligent gym who are looking out for your best interests. Colombia, Bogota, Aviones. I feel like that might say fly to Bogota in Colombia, maybe. I was actually looking at places in Colombia today. I might go on holiday there at some point. Brazil, and then Colombia, and then Argentina. What can you tell us about creatine? Creatine is very, very good for training. It's going to help to improve your endurance. It helps you to regenerate something called adenosine triphosphate by allowing a phosphate steal. That's how it works. It's going to help you lift more, it's going to help you endure more, maybe get a couple of extra reps out. When you can train a bit harder, you're potentially going to get better results. It's also very, very good at preventing things like osteoporosis, so well worth doing. Again, you can go onto UP Fitness Live, upfitness.com, and you can find creatine on there. So just go into the search bar, type creatine, and it will come up. Through Johnny's eyes, all good, man. See you soon, I believe. You're welcome. Right, this is my 2-minute mark. This is my 2 minutes remaining, and that is our hour for today. So make sure you are hitting me fast with these questions, fast and hard. Yes, come to Argentina. My country is beautiful. I've heard, I was reading yesterday that Argentina is one of the most diverse countries on the planet with the different types of habitat you have. It's absolutely mad. Really, really cool looking. That's partially why I wanted to go there, because I was reading about it and thinking this sounds awesome. But I also want to go to Brazil as well, so I'm just going to do kind of like maybe I'll do like 3 or 4 weeks and just go from place to place, because a lot of my work is based online just like this, so I can do a little bit of traveling. Leanne, yes, there is a UP in Sydney. It's not a gym like the Marbella gym that you've trained in. No, it is a PT only gym, so in order to go there you would have to book PT, but you can do that by going to upfitness.com, going to the Sydney gym and send in an inquiry and they can book you in. How to get the energy to exercise on those low energy days. Suck it up and understand your why and how it is bigger than your why not. Hit or like, I think you mean Liss, Sue and Edward, hit and Liss for fat loss would be your best bet. Protein shake pre or post workout. post-workout, and potentially if you're skinny fat, super skinny fat, and you're really struggling to put on muscle, pre as well. I trained at London City last year, suffered an ACL tear and had surgery. Can I use the money I've paid left to restart online program? You would need to contact your gym with that and find out what's going on. I can't answer that question here, unfortunately. So contact the City Gym, speak to them about any credit you may have remaining, and they may be able to help you out. It's not something I can deal with on a live feed though, unfortunately. Philly, you're welcome, not a problem at all. We have 30 seconds to come up with anything else you've got, because as soon as this is done, I'm going to start uploading the video for YouTube, then I'm going to go down to the beach and I'm going to do my steps. So I guess I'll be in bed about midnight tonight. But when you got to do it, you got to do it, right? You got to do it. It's summer after all, and I need to start getting a bit leaner. Is L-carnitine really effective? For me, L-carnitine is very, very useful for mental energy as opposed to its effects on fat loss. Right, I've got 5 seconds remaining, so thank you very much for coming. I've been Elliot Upton. This has been UP Fitness. This will go up on YouTube every fucking time. 3 seconds before it shuts down. Every time, without fail, it pauses and fucks me off. Ugh, God damn it, Instagram. Anyway, that little bit over. This was our Instagram live feed, as of course you know by now if you've watched any of these. Put your questions in the comments box below and I will answer them if possible. If not, come and join us live on our UP Fitness Live. There are links to everything that you need to know in the box below in the descriptions box. There's links to the website, links to our supplements, and links to both the male and female Live Up plans, which you can also get a hold of. Remember to share this if it's been useful, if it's been entertaining, or any of the above. Share it on your social media, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Twitter. Get it out there, let people know that there's some absolute Burke talking info to you every single Wednesday, every other Wednesday now, isn't it? But until then, I will see you not next Wednesday, the Wednesday after. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, do all the usual things that you're supposed to do on a YouTube channel. But until a later date, I will see you. Bye-bye.